maraming salamat.谢谢你, arigatou gozaimasu, khop kun krap, cảm ơn, chúc đi. You know, things like that. Pay it forward. There's always a learning point. It's just a matter of, are we willing to open our eyes and our heart to the situation? Every day, the fact that we are able to wake up, take our first breath, look at our loved ones around us, go out and have a coffee and have breakfast. I think this itself is something to be thankful of, that we are still alive. Take care of your own self, take care of your own health. Because if we don't love ourselves, there is no amount of things we can do to care and love others.
Magandang araw mga ka-gratitude! Nandito na naman po ako, si RK, and I'm very happy and excited to be here again para magbigay sa inyo ng story at inspiration para sa Project Gratitude PH. Ang aking bisita ngayon ay isang Singaporean. Yes, Singaporean. Kaya today, we will have to speak in English. But don't worry, nakakaintindi din siya ng konting Tagalog, okay? Kasi he had lots of Filipino and Filipina friends, and I happen to be one of them. Siya po ay naka-work ko sa isang telco company back in Singapore 20 years ago. And thank you so much sa social media, and today we will be speaking and talking and chatting once again. Without further ado, let us all welcome Lennie Low from Singapore. Hello, Len. How are you doing today?
Thank you, RK, for inviting me. It has been, close to 20, 21 years since we know each other?
Yes, I think so. Yes, 21 years.
Yeah, let me practice my Tagalog a bit. Magandang umaga, magandang hapon, magandang gabi, kaibigan.
Wow! Yay! Well, let's touch a little bit about the years that we met. So, we both work in the QA, right? In the QA department. In that telco company, just to give you the idea, my watchers of Project Gratitude PH, I actually had the opportunity to work with customer service, and then was kind of like laterally moved to QA, and that's where I started my quality assurance career, should I say. So when I came back to the Philippines, then I started to become a QA supervisor, manager, and so on and so forth. Basically, in the direction of the quality assurance. Okay, so I think that's one thing that is common between me and Len. It's the quality assurance and training. Alrighty, so let's do fast forward, Len. After our working period in that telco company, today, what's keeping you busy?
Okay, fabulous. Of course, many things have come and gone over the years. We have changed careers, but basically I've always been in the customer service, providing quality care. This is something that is ingrained in all of us here. And customer service, I guess, we do things a little bit from the heart, and we may sometimes not always follow the book, because it also depends on the situation, the people that we meet, and we learn. Everyone that we meet on a daily basis teaches us how to be a better person. And if we do make a mistake, then again, we refresh and we learn from that and we move on, so that we can take better care of the next person. Am I right, my dear friend?
Now, just a little something about you personally, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Can you tell us more something about yourself?
Okay, all the while I've been in the government service as well, and this is part of my work in Singapore. And until quite recently, of course, with COVID, and this is something that has changed many people. And with that, I decided to move on and do something else. And for the last 3 years, I've been doing things with my friends in Vietnam and Malaysia. We have a small fish farm. We do have a small restaurant. And at the same time, we do vintage collecting. Vintage cars and vintage motorcycles in Malaysia. So if those of friends who have seen me in Facebook will know that we are very popular with Vespa, Lambretta, Volkswagen, and of course good food as well.
Wow, that's interesting. It's my first time to be meeting someone who's into vintage. Now, just like what you said, the pandemic has really changed our lives, and even with the nature of your work, I guess if I understood it right, that really changed. So personally, how did the pandemic affected your lifestyle, your family? Well, besides the work, overall, how did it significantly affected you, Len?
Before we proceed, I need to be very clear that whatever I share, it's entirely from my own perspective, my opinion, and I may not represent everybody in Singapore. And it's from me, myself, and my family.
All
And
right.
how we look at it. Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's
it may
understood.
be different from what you read in the papers. It may be something that it may be different from another Singaporean's experience. Now, let me start, which is typical for many people if they talk about things financially, right? I think that is life today. That many people feel that whatever they do is for livelihood, and working, getting a job, going into business, saving money, buying a property, whatever, is always the moment they wake up, it's where am I going to find money? Am I correct, RK?
Yep.
Okay, so with that, from that point of view, for my family, I think I have to be very thankful in the sense that I have my wife to thank, because she is a much better financial planner than me. Like many people say, a successful man, it's when they can earn faster than the woman behind that spends. I've been very fortunate in the sense that we are working together. We have a kind and good understanding, and I support everything that she does, and she understands whatever I do and where we come from. At this point in time, we have two grown-up girls. They are independent, and they're able to take care of themselves. So this is a situation where may be different from many other families, with especially with single working parent with two young kids or three young school-going kids, or people who may have been retrenched due to the pandemic, or people that they needed to close their business because of this lockdown, and they are not able to leave their home to open their shop. So those people may be having some problems. But for us, me, on my own score, is that just before the pandemic, coming about 2 years ago, I came back from Malaysia. And before that, I was doing, at that point in time, we were running our fish farm in Vietnam. And I came back to Malaysia to do some things to prepare for the year end before coming back to Singapore to get ready for the new year. So that was that situation at that point in time, pre-pandemic, December, January time. When I heard the news about Wuhan, I was already in Malaysia. I had left Vietnam, I was already in Malaysia, getting ready to come back to Singapore. And I think that was after Christmas, December something, yeah? Towards the end of December, where people were saying, oh, you heard about this thing that's happening in China, right? Am I correct?
Right, true. Same here in the
yeah.
Philippines.
In terms of livelihood or earning, I was A-okay at that point in time, because I need to sort of like share the different time frame, pre the pandemic, then during pandemic, and then today. So of course, fast forward a bit, and with all the lockdown and all the restrictions, business was bad, definitely. There was nothing we could do. The fish that was in the farm, they died because our workers, our partners in Vietnam, were not allowed to go out to work. They needed to be at home. But at the same time, the fishes were in the farm, so nobody took care of them and nobody fed them. So it was a great loss. Many fish died, and the business had to be terminated. And of course, in Malaysia, with all the lockdown, businesses had to close.
So you said the fish business had to be closed down.
Yes.
Yeah. You were affected on that part of the business. Yeah, but health protocol wise, did you also have that experience of like fear of going out, fear of talking to people? Because here we had that experience. How about you? How did you cope up, or what did you do to make sure that you are safe?
When all this started, I remember that it was in March, 2 years ago in March. The protocol in Singapore was, if you are healthy, you don't have to wear a mask. And many Singaporeans in the early days were moving around as per normal. Many Singaporeans, many of us felt invincible. We felt that, okay, this is something that is happening elsewhere. It may not, and it should not hit Singapore. Because Singapore is so modern, we are so clean, everybody is taking care of themselves. So the mood, I would say, in the early days was still very, pun not intended, positive. The mood in Singapore was positive, that people felt that we were doing okay. That was the irony. We were as per normal. We felt that yes, things should be okay. This is something that's happening in China. So since we are told that things are in good order, if we are healthy, we just take care of ourselves and move on. So being a typical good citizen, okay, we just do what needs to be done. But of course, at the same time, on a personal note, we hear things, yeah, especially from my Vietnam partners, from my Malaysian partners, from my Indonesian partners, and of course, we read things in Facebook, we read international news, and of course, I must say that we have always been watching CGTN. It's a China news network. So we hear different things, and we decided that, hey, maybe just in case, we never know what's going to happen. Let's prepare ourselves, because in Vietnam, even without the pandemic, many people use masks on a daily basis. They cover themselves when they ride motorcycle, and they move around covered because they do not want to get themselves sunburned. And because of the air quality in Ho Chi Minh, so many people are used to the idea of wearing a mask when they ride on a motorcycle or when they drive. So for me, having been in Vietnam with my friends and all, well, we were just thinking, hey, wearing a mask is just a very normal thing. It was not something like, oh, why are you wearing a mask? What's wrong? Why are you wearing a mask? It's just like another day wearing a mask. So with us in our family, we had masks, although we didn't mask up. And when the time that everybody was worried and they rushed to the supermarkets to buy all the toilet rolls, to buy all the food, to buy all the masks, we were fortunately quite well prepared. Can you imagine a box of 50 masks in Vietnam is selling maybe about Singapore equivalent $3, $4. And the price of the mask in Singapore at that point in time, when everybody was rushing for it, it went up to Singapore $35 a box of 50 masks. And there were black market people selling up to $50 for 50 masks. Can you imagine that? So it's back to how it was long time ago. And wearing a mask is not a typical habit in Singapore. I think this is what it is for now in Singapore. We were more self-aware because years ago, we have decided that we should live a healthy lifestyle. My wife actually encouraged me to exercise. She is one person that is always fit. We practice a regime of taking enough vitamin C, and we have a pet dog. Okay, his name is Lennie. So every day we walk him. That gives us an opportunity to exercise. We get enough of sunshine. That helps with the vitamin D, like what people say. Then of course, all this while, I cannot say that we are not afraid. Yeah? We were not shivering, but we were aware that we always have a chance. There's always a chance for us to catch or be infected with COVID if we are always moving around. Okay? So in that score, my wife, Donna, she has always been working at home. And because of my non-existent business anymore, I also spend time at home. So I think this helped in the sense that we are being cocooned, we are being protected at home. And the time that we spend out of the home is perhaps walking our dog, going to the market. Now, we are very fortunate in the sense that where we stay, we have two supermarkets. And both of these supermarkets are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days. So, understanding the workings of Singapore, that we always have things available. This is the reality of life in Singapore, that we are also locked in. We sometimes forget what day it is, what is the date, what is the time. We are actually losing track of we just live on a day-to-day basis. So this is one instance that our life has become more macro. We are more looking inward. Otherwise, let's say on a regular weekend, many families will be saying, come, let's go and visit our relatives, let's go out with our colleagues, let's go out to eat. Oh, next week, the next few days are coming a public holiday. Let's plan to go out somewhere. What the last 1 over 2 years has taught many people or put many people in the position is to look inward, that we need to be self-sufficient. We need to take care of ourselves. So in this respect, I would like to share that It is something that taught me and my family, and I like to share this with many people as well, that actually, before we can love and care for anybody else, self-love and self-care is something that we should do for ourselves and our family. What do you think there, Kavigan?
It's a very good learning for me today that you said, let me not call it fear. You didn't have the fear. Instead, you became self-aware of all the things
Yes.
that you are supposed to do. And you know, it's a fact that we don't know how COVID would be to any person, but just the same, you take care of yourself.
Okay, we have to learn. Okay, everyone, regardless of anywhere in the world. I think very important is, in my opinion, the one above, our beloved God, has granted us with wisdom. We need to understand who we are and what we are. We should not be blaming anybody. We need to understand who we are, because our situation may be very different from even our neighbors. We can stay in the same road, or we can stay in the same road, but what we experience on a daily basis will be very different from our neighbors. Even in the same household, what I experience on a daily basis may be different from my wife, may be different from my daughters. But whatever it is, if everybody, like what they say, charity begins at home. So if we are able to take care of ourselves, we are able to take care of our own families, we are able to take care of our own home, that is a start, and everybody will be in safer conditions and safer hands.
Yes, it's true that this is not a blame game thing now, and that's a very good realization. So besides that, do you think if others may think that pandemic had all this negativity impacts, would you say that pandemic also had good impacts in the lives of people?
Of course, like what people say, the cup is half full or half empty. There are two sides to a coin. There's always a silver lining. Definitely, there's always a learning point. It's just a matter of, are we willing to open our eyes and our heart to the situation? Now, let's think about what we are going through. We can decide we're going to read the internet, we're going to read the mass media, we are going to listen to our neighbors, we're going to join all these chat groups. Are we going to join all these gossip groups and decide what is real or what is fake? What may be real for me may be fake to you. And I always say, if there is a God, and yet not everybody believes in God, who am I as a human being to convince somebody? We also need to learn that our point of view is our point of view. We may share something with a friend, our friend may not listen to us, they may disagree, and we have to accept that, because that is what a democracy is. A democracy means we are free to say what we want, we are free to believe what we want. At the same time, our friends, our neighbors they have the right to believe what they want and do what they want. Of course, within the legal framework, within social norms, within what we read on the internet, what we read in the mass media, and what we discuss with our families. So one thing I like to share is, I'm one of those people that believe we should not fall for prejudice. We should not say that, oh, you are unvaxxed, you stay away from me. I am vaxxed, I'm vaccinated, so I am safer. I think this is something that many people are believing in the world. These are things that are happening. I think slowly over the next few months, it may affect not just people in certain countries, it may be a movement in the world.
Unfortunately, it could be another way of discriminating people. I think that's the one thing that's not going to be good in relation to the vaccination thing. So now let's proceed to this other segment that I have for Project Gratitude PH. Counting a blessing. So with all the challenges, do you think there are still a lot, or there are still things that you should be thankful for?
Of course, okay, this is definitely going to sound very cliche, and somebody is going to say, hello, brother. This also, you talk like that. Okay, that's a typical Singapore way of saying. Now, regardless of what is ever our religion, whether you're a Christian, you're a Buddhist, you're a Hindu, you're a Muslim, you're a Jehovah's Witness, even the people who pray to trees, or people who pray to cow, and people who pray to snake. Every day, the fact that we are able to wake up, take our first breath, look at our loved ones around us, go out and have a coffee and have breakfast. I think this itself is something to be thankful of, that we are still alive. Because when we are alive, then it is up to us or up to God, whatever people may believe, to continue life. That is the first one. And I have to say that it is good that my fish farm business failed. It is good that I'm not able to do business or able to be trading in things that I love, like vintage collectibles or buying and selling of motorcycles and cars. Many people will think that, oh, I've lost my livelihood. But just like a seed, something must die and change and regrow. maybe, who knows, maybe I'm going into a different stage in life, that this pandemic, you see, has brought many people who have gone into online business. Many people who have bought stocks and shares. Many people have gone to cryptocurrencies. Many people who have done other types of businesses. People who had to work from morning 8 a.m. in the office until 10 o'clock at night. But today, things are so different. I get to see my wife every day. Before, I only get to see her at night, but by virtue of her having to work from home, I think today I almost see her 23 hours and 50 over minutes a day. So that itself could be it's all a blessing. We win some, we lose some. We are able to be with our loved one. I don't think in the past when someone say, "Oh, how long have you married?" "Oh, I've been married for 5 years." But seriously, during those 5 years, how many hours are they able to spend time together? "Oh, I only see my wife on Saturday night when we go out for dinner." But today's context is, "Ayo, I got to see my wife again, when can I go out? When will borders open? When can I leave the house? I don't want to see her anymore." You see, what used to be something that we miss can be a blessing. What can be a blessing may be something what we miss. So this is an example of what I'm saying, that we need to internalize, we need to relook at ourselves, reorganize our priorities, regardless of whatever it is. We just got to be thankful. I am thankful that I'm a poorer person, because then I don't have to focus so much on trying to make a living. Example, I'm just taking an example, that I don't have to slog, but what else can I do? In this change, people are able to relook and reorganize and plan. And now we all have a goal. Let's look forward to when this pandemic is going to ease, when the borders are going to open. When the borders are open, what am I going to do next? This is like a reset button. It's giving you, it's giving me, it's giving the poor person, it's giving the rich person, it's giving the sick, it's giving the child, it's giving everybody an opportunity. It's not Squid Game, It's not just a Squid Game, but it is truly. Now, even though a person has got $1 million today, during the pandemic, he's locked at home. Even, I'd like to say this, I'm pushing it. I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but what I'm saying here, when we go out and look at those poor people living in the barrios or living in the streets, they are outside. The millionaire who is sleeping in his aircon room is shivering, but the one who is sleeping on the roadside is enjoying that freedom. I'm not saying that the person who is sleeping on the roadside is enjoying that freedom in a good way, but can you imagine the millionaire will be looking out from his $1 million house onto the streets and looking at the beggar or even the with family but sleeping on the roadside, and he's saying, "Wow, they are outside. I dare not go out." So don't envy. There's another lesson I learned. Don't envy people who we think may be richer and better. But we ourselves may have the opportunity with the current situation. When things reopen, you and I have an equal opportunity to redo and rework what we want in life.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Really, really appreciate it.
I realized quite a few things over the months, and like I say, sometimes things may sound very cliche, but when you really sit down and think about it, all those things that we were taught when we were young, things like respect, love, take care of your health, you need to work. It's a matter of balance. So I think when you look at nature, trees are growing better now during the lockdown. Flowers were blooming. Our seas were getting clearer. Animals were having a better life. Maybe good. It's a good reset for many other things in life, not just us human beings.
That contributed to the environment as well. So the reset is really not only to humans, but it goes to our nature.
I'm sure UN and ETSA, during those months, smoke-free. I can sit in the middle of the road and then, everything is clear. The road probably has never been clearer than that.
Wish that could be every day, but now here in the Philippines, we are starting to have the transpo per normal.
That was an expensive lesson for me. Yeah. I may look so cheerful sharing with you. Like I say, some very, very expensive lesson that I'm sharing truthfully to each and every one. Take care of your own self, take care of your own health. Because if we don't love ourselves, there is no amount of things we can do to care and love others. That would be the summary of that part.
Right. Very well said, Len. So now we are on the very last segment. The last but not the least. This is the most important in the Project Gratitude PH. This is what I call shout out of thank yous. Because, sometimes we forget to thank the people with the small things they give to us.
Yes.
sometimes even a small gestures from someone else's, we forget to say thank you. So now, how about Len, take this opportunity to tell the world who are these people or what are the things that impacted your life and you would like to be grateful for and thankful for. Go ahead, Len.
Yes, please. Now, not in no particular order or importance. And I'd like to thank, of course, you, RK, for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts. What I'm sharing today are my own personal opinions, my own experience over the last 2 years, condensed in a happy mood, in a happy way, allowing me to pay it forward for other people. And on this matter, I invite and willing to accept anyone who wants to contact me for further discussion, even yourself, RK, which I hope I'll get invited again sometime in the future. And the next person, of course, I'd like to thank is my wife, Donna. Without her, there is no family. She is the one who actually wears the pants in the home. And I am the one who is actually standing behind now and giving her support. And I'm very grateful for her love and care to our family over the years. It has been a journey, many, many ups. And of course, there are many, many downs as well. And of course, during this pandemic, it has been an interesting time for our 2 daughters. I'm also learning to love and care for them in a different way. And they are now in their 20s, exploring their own careers and exploring the world. So I wish them well in whatever that they're doing. And of course, I have to thank the government in Singapore. In as much as there may be a lot of things to complain, we have to be grateful that we are in a safe environment. We have to thank that our social workers, our medical people, our doctors, our nurses, our ambulance drivers, our police, our army. We need to thank all these people, our frontliners out there who are making it safe for us to be quarantined at home. Without them, there is no safety for us all to be at home. So this is something that I need to give a shout out to all those people that have sacrificed their time, effort, money, their life to take the bullet, whether is it for money or for fame, for whatever, which I think our medical staff is not rewarded enough. They have been working hard over the years, not just during a pandemic, to take care of each and every one of us. So this is something that I need to do, and I want to encourage everyone that whoever you have who is a nurse, who is a doctor, who is an ambulance driver, even the person who is sweeping the floor, these are the people who are out there on a daily basis being paid the minimum, the least pay, but they are taking the bullet every day to ensure that our environment is safe, clean, and livable. I think these are the group of people that we need to be thankful, and we need to pray for them. Whatever is your religion, pray for them. If you are able to see some of them, give them a drink. Give them a morning hello. Let them know that whatever they do is just not because they are doing it to keep their job, but there is a higher calling for what they're doing on a daily basis for all of us. So this is a major group of people. All those people who are out there, the people who are doing our deliveries, the people who are doing our logistics, so that the families are able to be safe at home and yet receive their food, receive their meals, receive their online purchases. The people out there running, the unnamed ones, the people that we don't see, because not just we do not bother about who they are, we are all masked up. So I like to give a major shout out to all these people. Wherever you are, whoever you are, just turn around, thank somebody. Just like how if we are the ones doing the work, we will also appreciate if somebody just turn around and say, hey, sister, thank you so much. Hey, friend, maraming salamat. 谢谢你, arigatou gozaimasu, kapun krap, cảm ơn, chok di. Things like that. Pay it forward. We don't have to be millionaires to pay it forward with big money. We can just pay it forward without even money. Just our words, our kindness, and our smile, of course, our smile, which I believe can transcend all race, religion, or language. Universal language of love.
Indeed, I agree with you, and it's something that sometimes it's kind of like they thought it's a small stuff. Gratitude is a small stuff, but just like what you said, it transcends to whatever religion you are. Gratitude is true to all. Today, I would like to thank you once again for the wisdom that you shared, for the time, for the inspiration that you have shared to me today. I really realized a lot. I really learned a lot. I am really very, very happy to be speaking to you today after 21 years. So, mga ka-gratitude, this is the story that the conversation that I had with Len. So, eto yung naging kwentuhan namin ni Len. If you were inspired, if you were able to relate, I would really ask you to follow our Facebook page and YouTube channel. That's Project Gratitude PH. We have different stories, real life stories, and with inspirations coming from, imperfect people that makes us perfect people to give you inspirations. That's it. Thank you so much, mga ka-gratitude. So, Len, would you kindly invite our watchers to visit Singapore, and what are the tourist attractions that they can visit?
Considering, when the borders are open in the near future, I'd like to assure many Filipinos who may have the intention of visiting Singapore, you will feel very at home because there are many Filipinos and Filipinas in Singapore. There are a few Jollibees for you to go and eat our chicken joy and spaghetti. Do come and visit us in Singapore. And of course, many people will want to visit Marina Bay, want to go to the casino, check out the difference between Casino Filipino and the ones here in Marina Bay Sands. And of course, very importantly is to try our chicken rice, Hainanese chicken rice, try our char kway teow, our laksa, the type of food that we have, and visit Chinatown, Little India. And for Filipinos, don't forget to visit Lucky Plaza, where the action happens for each and every one. That's where you go and eat your Filipino food, exchange money, send remittance, and meet up with every other Filipino, which is along Orchard Road next to the best shopping area in Singapore. And on a side note, just like how I would spend my time in Philippines, I will go down to Zapote, I will go down to Baclaran. When you are in Singapore, please go down to some of the housing estates like in Hougang, Jurong East, Bedok, Tampines, to see how the real local Singaporeans live on a daily basis. Go down to the supermarkets, go down to the coffee shop, just like how I would go to eat tapsilok, how I will go down to the sari-sari shop to enjoy a sandwich. So come to Singapore and do just that, to experience the real Singapore, not just the Malayan sprouting water at Marina Bay.
Yeah, I suddenly miss Singapore. The nasi lemak, nasi lemak is one of my favorite, and of course the chicken rice. Yeah,
when you're talking about nasi lemak, nasi lemak has been upgraded in Singapore over the last few years.
Oh, is it?
Thanks to globalization. In the past, your nasi lemak will just be rice with fish and chicken wing.
Right.
Full stop. But over the last many years, with influence from Indonesia and many other Southeast Asian countries, now you have got a variety of gizmos to add on. And you have not just the plain chili sauce, the sambal. Now you have a variety of chili, at least 7 or 8 different varieties of chilies and curry to go along.
Wow.
So thanks to globalization.
Right. That's
from
interesting.
Different parts of Indonesia.
I wish there will be a Malay restaurant here in Olongapo. I really miss that nasi lemak.
Okay, on this score, I'd like to give a shout out to anyone out there who may be interested in opening a Singapore themed restaurant, because I believe in Philippines there are many people that have gone home to the Philippines. I will be happy and willing to do a business and open up a restaurant in Philippines. That will be my next project.
Wow, that will be awesome. So, anyways, thank you for inviting our watchers.
I'll add something. I'd like to shout out to all my friends in Las Piñas. It's a place that I used to stay. And to all my friends in Zapote that we used to hang out and drink out there. Maraming salamat kaibigan. Thank you everyone for just listening in with us. It's been a pleasure to be here with RK. Although, like she said, we've been friends for 21 years. Along the way, we've been chatting here and there. And thank you everyone. I'm sure you will enjoy our Singapore accent.
Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Len. Have a good day. You take care of yourself. Stay safe. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Goodbye, everyone.